to say it is an unfair and deceptive practice to benefit some people while punishing others. Because this bias, this, for example, Hasan bias, is not disclosed anywhere. It's not given out in the terms of service. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say everyone will be punished except for Hasan Piker. Everyone will be banned except for Hasan Piker.
Yesterday, Hasan goes live and waves a gun around at his viewer, threatens to end his life, and then doxes them, but he doxes the wrong person and then doxes another person. By the way, all of this is incredibly against TOS, but how is it against the law? Well, thankfully, we have a lawyer to weigh in on this. God, he's so handsome. Hey, man.
Twitch has a brand new Hasan problem, and this one could have huge
daily Hasan problem, man. It's great.
Repercussions, both legal and non-legal. We're going to get into that today.
Okay.
Of course, on the legal mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney.
I highly recommend everybody watching this video right now go subscribe to Legal Mindset and support the original channel as well. I just like getting informed on everything, and obviously pretty soon I'm going to be getting very involved with the law. And I want to make sure that I am ready to dissect my enemies.
Attorney, and I'm bringing you this fast facts premiere, a quick and dirty version, while I'm once again on a short vacation in lovely Phuket, Thailand. So another hotel room, another place, but still bringing you the freshest news. So make sure you like this video if you like the fast facts versions. So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing its guidelines, or at least it, when looking at its terms of service, has not always applied those equally to all groups and people. And
that is crazy how a lawyer would also acknowledge that. And that makes me feel very vindicated and validated in my stance, where I think more and more with every passing day, people understand that I'm like a fucking martyr for this platform, and I've been punished wrongly over and over and over again. And I will not stop until Dan Clancy gets on his fucking hands and knees and sings me happy birthday, just like he did for Hasan. Dan, you have 5 months, buddy. It's coming up. I'm turning 32. I expect my happy birthday. I do.
And one of the people that gets the most criticism for this, and that many folks across the board have said is the really recipient of a lot of the benefit of the terms of service without the burden of punishment, has been one Hasan Piker.
Hasan Piker.
Today, there was an absolutely extreme incident which really points out the problem for Twitch in having this unequal enforcement involving Hasan, and how this can have legal consequences. This is involving him swinging around what appears to be, and that's the very key here, legally and overall, what appears to be a weapon. So
this also makes me feel quite good. I had the exact same take prior to this.
Let's take a look.
Because it doesn't matter if it wasn't a real gun, if everybody believed it to be a real gun. It's the same thing for an IRL altercation with a police officer. If you were to pull out your wallet too goddamn fast and make a police feel threatened by, here's my ID, sir, you're getting shot. You are. And if you're carrying around a fucking gun and people believe that it's a gun, people's lives are going to be threatened, and you cannot be shocked by the consequences of your own actions.
Look at the video, and of course this is video that I found over on X, which highlights this incident. So we'll take this clip here and give some commentary as we go.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
So so to give you some background here, it appears there's a chatter in his chat who is made a bunch of comments.
What's really crazy about this is that Hasan takes big offense to when this guy says right here, hang Hasan for treason. For some reason, when terrorist companies and terrorist organizations say death to America, he's all W's in chat. He's all, yeah, dude, what these guys say, fuck America. Hasan, you're American. They're saying death to you, and you're cheering for it. So why is it okay if people make a threat on your life, if it's a terrorist organization, but then if someone calls for your hanging, that's a part of your chat, well, now you have a problem. Doesn't really make much sense now, does it?
Obviously, These are comments that are not fitting with the vibe in the crowd of Hasan's chat. Obviously, for any of this, he would have the ability to block and or ban this person. Of course, every single content creator retains the right to ban people out of their chat for whatever reason. Some people...
Yeah, just like Ludwig bans people for typing W Tectone. Everybody withholds that right to ban people for what they want to ban for.
People are more permissive. Some people are more restrictive. That's really up to the creators on their platform. If they choose to ban people for anything, that's up to them. We wouldn't be here today if this was just a block and ban incident, which once again, I think there was plenty of grounds for him as a creator saying, hey, I don't want this person here. And some of this language was even pretty extreme, saying hang Hasan for treason. Yeah, that's...
Which, by the way, I would like to say, you shouldn't go into somebody's chat and say that. You just shouldn't. But the only thing that I'm just confused about is Hasan has issues with getting death threats like every other content creator does on this fucking planet, but I don't understand why he doesn't have issues with terrorist organizations calling for the death of all Americans when he's a fucking American, right? It just doesn't make any sense in my mind.
That's pretty extreme. And you know what?
Because, guys, I'm going to give a hot take. I think they're both bad.
Blocking and banning someone for that would be called for. If someone came into my chat or anybody else's chat and said that about that creator, yeah, they would probably catch a ban. They would probably catch a block and a ban. And possibly a report, a broader report.
He only identifies as American when it's convenient for him?
True. Gives here is not proportional nor appropriate to these comments. Let's play this.
In our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people who've been left behind by our politics.
So let's be clear. He's gone and retrieved what appears to be a pistol. Now, many people have pointed out it could be airsoft or it is airsoft or whatever else. The key here is that it appears to be a real weapon. I'll also note as someone who played airsoft for like 8-9 years as a kid, I had MP5s, I had pistols, I had a sniper rifle, even an airsoft sniper rifle. You're supposed to have an orange tip or a marker on the end of an airsoft. That would be not a typical airsoft.
Yeah, there was actually a whole bunch of shit of people getting shot. This was like maybe 10, 12 years ago, where people were taking their airsoft guns and they were painting over their orange circles black to make it appear like a real gun. And I believe that's highly illegal to do. You know what? But yeah, let me Google that. Great. At least I'm glad to know. So in the United States, removing the orange tip from an airsoft gun after purchase is generally not illegal. Federal law requires toy guns look alike and imitation firearms to have the orange tip or other approved markings during manufacture, import, shipping, or entering into commerce. State or local laws. Some states and municipalities may have stricter regulations regarding toy gun modifications. Even if legally permissible in your area, removing the orange tip can increase the risk of the toy gun being mistaken for a real firearm with potentially serious or even deadly consequences. This is especially true if the toy gun is brandished or displayed in public. There we go. That makes sense to me. It's not illegal. However, it can lead to you facing serious and deadly repercussions.
That marker or remove that orange tip, even though, of course, some people do that. Some people.
Let me double check in California. Hasan's place of residence. It is illegal to alter, remove, or obliterate the orange tip or any other markings on an imitation firearm, including airsoft guns, in a way that makes it look more like a real firearm. This includes painting over or removing the orange tip. Violations can result in misdemeanor charges with potential penalties like jail time and fines. And this is why I love looking into the law.
People make it more realistic. But the key here, and this is a key that is not just in analyzing this for Twitch terms of service, but also broader for the law, is that you can make a physical threat. You can make a threat or try to intimidate somebody with even a fake weapon.
Absolutely.
With a fake knife, with a fake gun, with a fake bomb.
Yep.
If you were going to try to hijack a plane and you attempted that with a fake gun, it would not be material in terms of your defense. You would not be able to say, oh, but, well, it was fake, so I couldn't do it all along, you know, when you get caught and arrested and thrown in jail.
Because the
intent.
intent.
You don't get off because, oh, it was fake. No, you would lead a reasonable person to believe that was real, and
Absolutely.
a reasonable person could have fear.
Yeah, the reasonable people on the internet, oh man, they were up in arms. The amount of people that are freaking the fuck out of this on Twitter, rightfully so, oh man, a lot of people were led to believe that's a real gun. And by the way, is anybody going to think, yeah, Hasan Piker wouldn't own a real gun and wave it around in front of a viewer's face? No, nobody's going to fucking think that. This is one of the biggest bad actors on the entire platform. Are we really going to be shocked? Or are we really going to be like, well, maybe it's not real when the terrorist sympathizer starts threatening the lies of the chatters? Yeah, fucking right.
Of that, knife, gun, bomb, whatever, despite the fact that it's not objectively real. So that's a defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that stands up. Let's continue here.
Compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been tell him the last person who couldn't get my name right, we defeated them, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay.
Can we talk about how fucking gay this dude looks? Just for 2 seconds. I want you to just take a moment as the viewer. While you're here, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I really want you to just leave a number from 1 to 10. You don't got to say anything else. Everybody else is going to know. I want you to observe Hasan right now and just leave a 1 to 10 for how fucking gay this guy looks, trying to appear hard as fuck, waving around a gun, trying to intimidate a viewer's life.
Defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that
Let's observe.
stands up. Let's continue here.
1 to 10, guys. 1 to 10.
Compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been tell him the last person who couldn't get my name right, we defeated them, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough.
Once again, brandishing the weapon, flaring it around. Obviously, there's a point to this. Obviously, there's an individual who this is directed at. You know, this is something that's not really ambiguous in the general intention.
As you may have...
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your smartphone.
So here's another crazy thing about the doxing. So now you've paired, so you've linked up brandishing a weapon.
Yep.
What appears to be a real weapon, whether or
Yep.
not it is, whether it's an airsoft or whether it's fake. You've paired up brandishing a weapon with doxing, which is revealing their private information, which, by the way, in certain jurisdictions, in certain places in the world, is illegal.
Yep.
So you've done 2 things which are potentially illegal. There's the brandishing, the threats, the intimidation, and then you've got the doxing, right? So you've got 2 separate things you're now doing together. So that this is combining to make it even worse.
Wait, this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
Fuck are you gonna do, bro?
Do you know how lackadaisical, do you know how psychotic, how sociopathic, how insane of a human being you have to be to so lackadaisically wave around a gun and threaten a viewer's life before, guys, this is even before he can actually confirm that this is the right person. This is another demonstrably proven moment where Hasan is so aggressive. He has such a blatant disregard for the truth that he will pursue anything and everything in his destructive wake if he even thinks there's something in his opposition. He will go after anything with reckless abandon, no matter what, whether it's real or not, if he thinks it will make himself look better, if he thinks something poses a threat to him. It is, I don't know what else to call it besides absolutely psychotic. He is completely brain dead. He is. There's nothing else to say. Someone this stupid is not only a harm to themselves, it's a harm to the platform, and it's a harm to everybody else who occupies the same space. And may God have mercy on Will Neff's soul.
And of course, I do like the pop-up there just explaining that this is clearly against their TOS. This is
Yep.
something that is not, holistically, both the doxing and the threatening is, of course.
How is he not banned on Twitch? Guys, if I've told you once, I've told you 10,000 times. This is not a conspiracy. This is not me having a tinfoil hat. Okay? I am the proof. I am the glue that behind Twitch's streaming platform, there exists one thing. And that one thing is an agenda. Twitch is not banning Hasan because they agree with Hasan. And they are banning me because I am going against that very same agenda. You can say, oh, bro, it's all in your head. You're hallucinating things. Guys, I got banned for 2 weeks for calling Frogan fat. Hasan pulls a gun on a viewer, threatens their life, and then doxes 2 viewers. He didn't even get a warning. What else do you really want me to say? This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is actuality. This is the world we're living in, and I think it's absolutely disgusting. Don't forget, E-Rob got a 30-day for threatening a viewer. That's also very true. I remember that. Yep. It's as clear as day, guys. TOS does not apply to the people who Twitch agrees with. And I think it's absolutely disgusting. And this is why I'm glad that I'm live on Twitch, to inform you guys that I'm also live on Kick and YouTube. You can join me anytime. I stream every day at 9 a.m. CST on all platforms. You can join me over here on Kick and YouTube anytime you want. Link will even be in this YouTube's video description. And yeah, just like, comment, subscribe to this video, and turn the bell on for all notifications. It's great. This is why I'm glad I'm still here live on Twitch, just to make sure Twitch knows, hey man, even your boys are finding out about your malpractices. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke. Guys, this should be a 1 month minimum. 1 month minimum. And I know Hasan has had warnings in the past. Warnings that should have been very long bans. Let's keep going here.
Against the Twitch terms of service, right?
Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hasan and Mamdani for treason, he says. The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch.
So let me make one thing, another perfectly clear. This is why I'm glad I get to be the example of the hypocrisy. So some people are going to say, oh, so what? Now Hasan can't defend himself? Well, there was another guy, and I'm trying to remember who that guy was, who was getting career-ending accusations that were already proven false by some very popular female streamers that defended himself by retaliating back to their attack, and he got banned for 2 weeks. So, do we understand that it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you think? There's a very clear bias. It's incredibly clear. And guys, I want to make this very clear. I think I should have been banned, and I think the opposition should have been banned. Just like in this situation, I believe that chatter should have been permanently banned off the platform, and I believe Hasan should have been banned at least for 1 month. At least a month. There's nobody in the right here. Everybody's in the fucking wrong. That's the issue. The first guy who Hasan doxed responded, Oct20K. So the guy who Hasan falsely crashed out on ended up responding to viral accusations. I definitely did not comment any of the messages you read, but thanks for calling me an ugly, skinny bitch, I guess. Yeah. That is, yep. That is a little nuts. Yep. Do you notice how Hasan immediately goes to attack someone's appearance immediately, off of nothing? This guy who most likely supports him, I would have crashed out much harder.
And to be clear, nothing that Hasan said would be necessarily impermissible. He could say all those things. He could call them, I believe his technical word was a skinny bitch, all he wants. That would have been perfectly fine. He could yell at this guy the whole night, scream at this guy the whole night. The problem was the weapon combined with the doxing.
Legal Mindset, I want to remind you, I know you say that he can call him an ugly, skinny bitch all he wants, but I want to remind you, I got banned for calling someone fat and for calling an OnlyFans girl a whore. I am curious to know his thoughts on that. I am very curious. I am very curious to hear Legal Mindset's thoughts on that.
Right? All the other stuff he could do. That's his show. He can run it how he wants. That wouldn't necessarily be against TOS to just yell at the guy the whole night and make fun of the guy. That's fine. Do it your way. Not what we do on my channel. But hey, he can do it on his channel all he wants. But with that, you open yourself up to a bunch of problems. And Twitch is opened up to a bunch of problems because now they've got to decide what they're going to do with Hasan. And in the past, they've only given him slaps on the wrist. That is, they've given him 1 day or 24-hour bans or sometimes 12-hour bans. And that's been all they've done with him. But now we've got a serious problem because we've got a situation in which if he is not banned for this, this opens up this behavior for others. So it opens up this behavior, these threats for other people, which can bring on what appears to be real weapons, knives, bombs. And
Well, that's how it would work normally, legal mindset. But the problem is that that still doesn't open up that behavior for other streamers, because Hasan just gets away with it. Other people try to fight fire with fire, and Twitch will ban everybody else acting like Hasan Denims and Co. And that's the truth. And I have proven that time and time again. It won't lead to any other streamers doing it because these other streamers realize, oh, wait a minute, we're not part of the Golden Boys. We won't get away with it. Yeah, it's psychotic.
dox people, threaten them. And here's the problem for Twitch. They open themselves up for not just losing advertisers, which is a big non-legal issue, not just looking bad as a brand, because obviously nobody wants to be the platform in which people are openly brandishing weapons and threatening others and doxing them. That's not good for a platform.
Absolutely. And the whole issue that I was told for why it was a problem that I was calling Frogan fat is because it instills body dysmorphia. Is calling someone skinny as an insult not the exact same? Are you not making both members uncomfortable with their body? And I quote, ugly skinny bitch is going to cause the same, if not more, and instill more body dysmorphia than calling someone fat.
But you open yourself up to illegal consequences as well. Now, obviously, many people know the breach of contract route. And there are arguments in terms of breaching the contract between the creator and the platform in terms of banning somebody for one type of behavior, whereas you don't ban somebody for another. So you don't ban Hasan for this. But let's say another creator is banned for this. Well, there might be a cause of action open up there. Now, there's a lot of challenges with that. That's a difficult one. But one that's even more interesting and one that is really untested, and in fact, there may be many people looking to test this, is a consumer type action under a private right of action. Every state has their consumer laws, and those laws are sometimes very, very strong. And one thing they protect against is unfair and deceptive practices. And it indeed is a very strong case to say it is an unfair and deceptive practice to benefit some people while punishing others. Because this bias, for example, Hasan bias, is not disclosed anywhere. It's not given out in the terms of service. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say everyone will be punished except for Hasan Piker. Everyone will be banned except for Hasan Piker. Or, for example, if you want to be more broad, everyone will be banned except people who share Hasan Piker's political beliefs or affiliations or
all of this.
Associations. If that was disclosed publicly, then fair dues, then you can do what you're trying to do. Of course, advertisers may have an issue with that, but legally it wouldn't be as deceptive. But now you're deceiving the consumer, both the people that are consuming the content, that are expecting that their favorite content creators will not be banned, and then seeing them get banned, and deceiving the creators themselves by lulling them into a belief that they can stream on your platform safely and do what they want, just like Hasan. But then they're ultimately punished. And they're punished for a much longer period of time. They're losing a much larger slice of revenue, memberships, subscriptions, etc., affiliate deals than Hasan. So you're able to point to that and say, I have damages because I am being banned for 7x, 10x, 30x, way longer than Hasan. And I can bring this private cause of action for an unfair and deceptive practice on the part of Twitch. And there's a lot of folks that may be opened up for that. So looking at this, real big problem, and would be even a bigger problem if there was a real incident where somebody got into an altercation where there was a threat made like Hasan and then somebody responded with force. We saw the case of Sin City Manny in Las Vegas, the streamer that responded to taunting and threats of other streamers. People are not beyond responding with violence, particularly in America. That is something in 2025, that's something that could happen, and God forbid that do happen, would be the absolute end of Twitch as a platform.
You know what really should be the end of Twitch as a platform? Do you guys want to know a random fact? Do you know who one of the only, there's two, one of the only streamers to ever be publicly backed by the by a terrorist organization on this entire platform is, guys? Do we have any guesses who is backed by a literal terrorist organization publicly? Yeah. Hasan Piker. Yep. Is that not this guy's a terrorist, by the way. He's a Houthi pirate. Yep. A legitimate terrorist has gone on record saying they publicly support Hasan's Piker. And now I'll be real, guys. If a terrorist organization was backing me, I'd probably think for a couple seconds, Now, what did I do to cause that?
What do I see them doing? They've got to do something against Hasan. Hopefully they give him a longer term ban, more than just 24 hours. But unfortunately, Twitch has been known to be very light on its favorite golden boy. But let me know in the comments below what you think about the whole situation. And what do you think they're going to do with Hasan, if they're going to do anything? And I'll catch you on the next.
Great fucking video, man. Great fucking video. I'm going to link this real quick to all of my chats. Waving a gun around threatening a viewer is wild. Who would want to deal with that? If I was an advertiser, I wouldn't want my money going towards that. He's not just screwing himself out of everybody on the platform. No, absolutely. 100%. It's causing ripple effects to fuck everybody on the fucking platform. It's not fucking me because I stream on Kick and YouTube, which is great. And things are going fantastic. I cannot believe that I have more viewers on YouTube now than I have on Twitch, which is great. To all my YouTube frogs, I appreciate you. To all my Kick frogs, I appreciate y'all too. It's been great, man. Are legal minds' eyes crossed? No. But the world's justice system is.